Hi everyone, my name's James Jivey.
And I'm James Curtis Thomas.
I'm going to be Jivey from now on because two James in the same room is way too confusing. And welcome to the second video in our series mixing Nuns of the Tundra. Save your recording artist, Nuns of the Tundra, before I get in trouble with Angela.
Yeah.
And it's still the same song, Losing Control. And this time we are going in the box.
Yeah, entirely in the box.
Fully in the box. It's going to be straight from the hard drive recording.
Yeah.
Everything you hear processing-wise will be done in the box.
Yeah, everything that was captured, 10 tons, we're just going to do it all in the box. No hardware, as I found out I wasn't allowed to use. And now I'm just using the plugins.
No hardware, just plugins. The reason for this is because, firstly, thank you to everyone who watched the first video and who passed judgment, passed comment on the video. Hundreds of you, in fact, which was great. There are pros and cons to both platforms. I think we can agree. I think the biggest pro of working the old-fashioned way on a console with hardware is the fun factor.
Oh, it's super fun. It's amazing.
There is something about reaching out and grabbing a piece of hardware.
Pushing faders.
And all that sort of stuff. But as we're going to find in this process, I think speed and power are the key benefits of the in-the-box mix.
I think when time and budget is an issue, 100%.
So, without further faff, or indeed ado, let's go and dive into the mix, and James can talk us around what's going on. So, tradition dictates that we start with the drums. I don't make up the rules, I just break them.
Love it.
A good, solid thump there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Very tight on the kick.
Now, the first thing that most people are going to say is, you know, Kev's got a lot of toys at his place. We know this. But a lot of what you were doing, in fact, across the whole mix, was done with desk EQ and desk compression.
Correct.
Now, of course, we now know that you've got access to a billion different EQs, compressors, all that sort of stuff, and you've got thousands of iterations of them.
A lot of plugins.
If you need, you could run 6 EQs if you so wanted to. But I think you've probably still gone quite old school, haven't you? Kind of one.
Yeah, it's still using the SSL. I'm using the Brainworks E Series. And then obviously, got the Alicia stuff, and then, and then Pro Q I'm using. But really, if we look across this, 1176, nothing on there, just, SSL again. And then obviously we've got the parallel stuff and,
And you're still using room mics, but you've now got some added reverb and stuff going on as well.
So because the kit Hugo used was an old, I think it was like a late 70s, early 80s Premier, super dry, super tight, and where it was in the corner, but even though the room's huge, the recorded sound was really dry. So we had the room mics. But obviously you got all the bleed from the band. So obviously now, because I'm working entirely in the box, why not sort of reamp the room and make it a little bit more controlled.
So first plug-in benefit over the hardware is that you can do stuff like that way quicker. No patching, no refaffing.
No patching, and then flip between the chambers and the rooms, and then find one which, sounds good.
So let's start with the kick drum first because... Just because,
So, kick.
And that's the in, which wasn't an in, it was kind of just off the head, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just off the head. Tons of nice low end, good punch. First thing I wanted to do when I got here is I did add a sample using trigger, but I brought it in sort of 50% just to give a little bit more knock to, you know, to the drum to makes it a little bit more modern as well.
Yeah.
So if we have a listen to that, and if you look here, I'm just using whatever I think it's the Blackbird stuff.
Yeah.
And then 50%. So we're keeping the really nice low end and the warmness coming off of the Premier kick drum, but this is really just adding that knock that's going to allow that kick drum already to, you know, get through this wall of sound, which is Nuns of the Tundra. So from there, we go into the SSL EQ. Quite a standard thing. Obviously, I'm not boosting any top end here because not needed.
You've got all that top end from the sample, which
exactly.
is... Yeah.
And then I'm just boosting around about 50. So if we have a listen here, oh, and then a scoop. That says a 1. That's weird. We'll put it around about here.
Yeah.
It's not doing a great deal, but it is just adding a little bit more low end, a little bit more thump. When we go into this kick drum here, which I'm using as an as a sub mic, you could say, you'll hear the difference. Then we went into this Alicia, and I'll be brutally honest, I didn't realise I had these plugins until last week, and I've just been going absolutely crazy for them.
I used to have the hardware version of these, and they are incredible.
I used the SPL one, is it SPL Transient, for a while, and I could never, this thing knocks your teeth out. So here we go. Again, this is quite a dancey track, so I really want this kick drum to punch through.
Just brings it
in, yeah.
Yeah, forward is probably the right. Yeah,
I think forward's the word, you know. And that's at 50, again, just pushing the low end at 57 hertz, and then bringing it up by a couple of dB.
Yeah.
And then again here, just because why not? I think that's what Andrew Shep says. Because why not? I'm just boosting some real subby stuff down here.
Yeah.
So. Oh, and it seems I've also used it to turn it down.
Yes.
So there we go. Hard to tell because of the volume difference.
If you're listening to this on your phone speaker, you will not hear 33 hertz or whatever.
You can feel it. There's more of a feeling.
Yeah.
So that's our kick. What's going on
in.
then? That's the kick in. So this is really just the attack. And then over here, what I did was I wanted more sub. The outside mic that we used sounded great. It was a ribbon mic, massive thing. But again, now I'm inside the box. It's quite a dancey. So originally this song was, I think we called it Disco, as like the running title or the working title. I wanted to bring the low end up and have a bit more fun and a bit more party. And so same trigger. So I've got no EQ, no envelope filter after it, SSL that is, and then I'm just putting a massive, massive shelf here. Just, again, low end, low end, low end.
Yeah.
So then when you play them together, it's like extends the low end a bit more. Again, if you're on small speakers, you're not going to, but if you've got some nice headphones on or whatnot, it really does start to add up.
Yeah.
So then next we have our snare drum. Now, when I process snare drums, when we recorded at 10 tons, we recorded the top and the bottom on separate channels. Normally I sum them to one channel. So what I'm doing here is I'm summing both top and bottom to this auxiliary. So I just treat them together, even though I do have a EQ there. So if we have a quick listen. Sounds great. That's just the top.
Nice ping. Add the bottom end. Add the bottom mic, because I think this is going to be real the sizzle is, isn't it?
So the EQ I'm adding here is a little bit of the low mids. In fact, I'll probably add a little bit more. I quite like fat sounding. You know, using the bottom head to add a lot more depth and energy. So then we come over here, and then what we got going on? A little bit of 8, ton of 200, ducking out 1K. Don't know why I did that, but let's have a listen. What I noticed is there is so much, I love the ping, it's really annoying. I love the ping coming from the snare, but there's so much of the kick drum coming into that snare mic. There was a weird phasing going on between the kick and the snare, and so I had to sacrifice the ping in order to be able to focus more on the kick drum. So I have gated this, but then obviously I'm going into a few effects to kind of help bring the life back. So one trick straight away is to go into the 1176, and now you can hear it's bringing that ping, you know, or the you know, a little bit more sustained back to the drum. So before and after. Obviously, there's a level drop there.
Yeah.
Because
what's interesting as well is there's so much kick drum in the snare that if you were, again, that's purely due to the fact you've got that room mic active, the distant kick drum mic.
Yeah.
And that's going to be picking up so much of the snare, because obviously the snare is by far the loudest instrument in a kit. Yeah. So you're kind of working with it rather than against it, rather than trying to fight it.
I did try I used this, there's a brilliant plug-in here called Silencer. And unfortunately, that just killed the snare way too much. So this was the compromise I came up with.
Yeah.
But again, what I'm doing is I'm also adding a bit of parallel compression to the snare. Again, you can hear that's bringing that more controlled, you know, but again, the kick's just...
Some would call that ping if you were being positive about it. Some would call it ring if you're being negative about it. I like it. I like the fact that it's a real snare drum and it's got that kind
100%.
of doing about it.
That's just going through a DBX 160.
Yep.
And we did use that on the SSL mix.
We did.
The hardware.
Yeah. And you've got just another case of the SSL. Yep, there we go.
Yes. That's because the kick drum's going through there as well.
Yeah.
So that's that. The toms, pretty stiff. We can find some. Here we go.
Just cutting all the honk.
Yeah, just Pro EQ. I didn't compress them. They didn't need compressing, to be honest. I've got an overall compressor on the kit. So I did on the desk mix, I think I put them through the parallel compressor, but I haven't here.
Right.
Just been a bit lazy. You can see I did try maybe using the trigger, I think, to add something, but it didn't make it, which is good. Make Hugo happy. So the toms are the toms. Let me see if I find a really cool bit.
We are funny as drummers, you know. We want it to sound as good as possible, but we want it to sound as good as possible and still be real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get that. So these are the toms. Real tubby, massive.
Bonham-esque.
Yeah, Bonham-esque,
Yeah.
100%. So they didn't really need a lot. And again, I always think as a drummer, and you record people, like consistency is so important. And the fact like Hugo really just hits them and we're not getting, you know, we can just kind of let them do what they want.
It's funny because I remember saying to me first, he really hits them. And I'm like, I think he does hit hard, but he doesn't make a big deal of hitting hard.
It doesn't look like he's moving when he plays.
You know, it's not all this. It's not lots of this. He's actually very very economy emotional.
Yeah.
That, but the bit with, let's say, that this particular fill with the rototoms as well is such a nice fill. And unfortunately, Hugo's going to complain about this. The footage I've used of him in the video isn't the footage of him actually playing it, because something to do with flams or single hits or something. Sorry, Hugo. But it sounds great, and his economy of motion is really Nico McBrain-esque.
Oh, wow.
He
Okay,
looks very much like Nico when he's playing,
yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Slightly less toms, but...
Same length of hair. So, and then we got the Rototom, and we just used one single microphone. It was a 57 on this.
No, it was a Unidyme.
Oh, was it?
It was a Unidyme
Oh,
B.
okay,
Yeah.
Unidyme.
I
There
corrected
you
you in the video.
Oh, you did, yeah. But here we go. So... So just brilliant, aren't they? Just any excuse. So I wanted to, there was a phaser at the studio at Kev's and it didn't work, unfortunately. Or it works, but it didn't work that day. So just to make it a little bit more fun, I added this orange phaser.
Yeah, which is the 11 rack phaser.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
It's based on an MXR, I think, but it's the one that's the plugin that came off the back of the 11 rack.
Of course, this is an Avid plugin, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, very cool. Oh, it's got a little mix knob there. I didn't realise that. I just whacked it on.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything else. So put that on, and then going through 1176.
Kev needs to get some hardware 1176s because my vocal sound is an 1176 pretty much.
It's the only thing, you know, it's the distressor.
LA2A for bass.
LA2A, things like that, just super and there's only two knobs really to play, 4 knobs. Some of the other they're amazing compressors he's got, but you need a manual.
Or a Kev.
Or a Kev, yeah. Right, so here we go. So I'll play all the toms together actually, because they sound kind of cool. And
again, it is one kit. I mean, we're breaking it down and isolating it, but the drums are one instrument. You shouldn't, I think we believe the same thing. The drum kit is an instrument. So kind of doing it like this is a bit broken, because, we should treat it as one instrument. Sometimes you'll add something to the snare or the kick drum in isolation, and you'll go, oh God, when you hear it all together, it doesn't work.
Yeah, because you have to, because obviously, I'm gating the snare drum, and even when I'm hearing it here, I'm thinking, oh my God, what are people going to think about it? But then when you put the overheads in there, you've got the rooms, that's been picked up by everything else. So, it's fine. And
the snare's the loudest thing on the kit. So it's going to be in every single microphone.
Yeah.
It's going to be in every room mic, in everything,
It's quite alien doing, like going under the microscope like this, because I generally, when I'm soloing, it's for a reason. Like, is there a pop there or whatnot?
Yeah.
I normally just turn it up. It's cool, isn't it? I thought even putting those rototoms on.
Yeah, really nice.
I don't know why. I just thought that'd be brilliant. Overheads. Now with the overheads, SSL EQ on them. Now we use the Sonys, which I love so much. I want to buy a set for this studio. And yeah, so this is what they sounded like. Done.
Do you compress overheads?
What, on the way in?
No, at the mix stage.
Yeah, it depends. It all depends. Everything's a depend.
In this case, did you compress?
I think I did.
Yeah, a little
Probably
bit. Yeah.
getting the snare out a bit more.
Right.
They're so balanced. I think if you EQ'd that on its own, you'd get a great drum kit sound. You know, I think they're brilliant.
The Sonys were, you know, they are vintage mics, but they sound incredible.
It's so good, warm. I don't know if they taper off or something, but they're brill.
The mics that everyone goes on about for overheads are the Coles 4038.
4038s, yeah. I've never really got on with them.
I can't
They
stand
look
them.
cool. They look way cool.
I like shiny sounding cymbals. I like them to be bright and not harsh, but they've got to sound bright.
So when I record here at the studio, I use the AEA microphone, the stereo ribbon.
Yeah.
And that's always set up. And then I do a space pair with whether it's like Neumann's. I quite like the KSM 32s by Shure. So I have them as like almost as spot mics, but then one is in the middle is like picks up the overall kit.
Yep.
And so I've kind of treated the rooms here as I do here. So what I've done here is I've taken some low end out. Like you can see I haven't really added much. So just taking out a bit of mud and that at the bottom. Remember, they were processed going in. So and some people will record and leave everything flat. My argument of that is like, well, whilst they're playing and you're recording and whatnot, and you're tuning and or carving out things, you might as well print it and have less to do in the mix end and just have more fun rather than fix things.
Yeah.
And then we're into the 1176.
I think as someone who records a lot myself playing, I'm not quite brave enough to do that.
Oh, okay.
Because,
fair enough,
say, certainly, I mean, your setup is very similar to mine in as much as you're in the same room as the drummer. The difference being, I know you're a drummer as well, but when I'm playing drums, I'm not necessarily brave enough to start carving it out desk EQ on the way to tape.
Yeah.
Because I know full well I can probably do it later on in plugins. Or
Yeah.
if I've got someone else in, absolutely, I'll sit there with headphones and go, right, or maybe listen back and go, right, what can I tweak on the way
That's what I
in?
normally do. I flip the console, so I record it in, flip it, almost mix it quickly, and then flip the console again, and then record in.
That's a good idea. Might have to try that.
But yeah, it's a bit. I just because I like using the mugs a lot when I record, or the those little Pultec things. So, so the overheads with the compressor.
You're somehow getting rid of quite a lot of the snare by bringing the rest of it up, which is
exactly. I wanted to control the snare and keep it as like. This track needs to sound real tight. It's got that disco-y beat, that dance beat or whatnot. So, yeah. And then the rooms. Here are the rooms, and these were are they called M80s?
I thought they were M50s, weren't they?
Yeah, the M50s.
Yeah, M50s. Yeah,
big bastards.
big omnis.
Yeah.
So you're going to get everything that's in the room.
Yeah. So this is, again, I didn't really do a lot with it because we processed going in. So much energy in that low end bit, and again, I didn't compress them. I didn't see the point in compressing them, if I'm going to be honest.
Bit of EQ or just
there's a bit of EQ, like I went on and off again.
Rolling a little bit top end.
If you watch actually. So a little bit of dynamic EQ going on there.
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
And then if I play the whole kit together now, again, over that bit, because that's way fun. Bring in these bits. So we've got a plate. Actually, there's a reverb here that I forgot I had, and it's Space.
Which used to be TL Space, but then became
right.
Avid Space, and it's a convolution reverb. So wherever you...
I'm using this.
Yep, a 250.
And I'm using a short, and it just goes, if I show you. So I'm using that to almost add back the things that I took out to sort of control it. And I think this thing's... I didn't realise how many sounds are on here.
I was offered one of the real thing.
Was you really?
But the only problem was it was in the States. And they weigh a metric boatload.
Yeah, I've heard that way quite a lot.
And I really wanted it, but it was a 240, it was a 110 volt, and would have been an absolute nightmare because the power consumption on something like that, you couldn't just buy like a plug-in wall type converter. And I went with all the energy in my life, I wanted it, but wasn't going to work.
But yeah, that's cool. Like I forgot this even existed. I was going through some of these, and it's even got like the linear stuff. That's it, the RMX 16.
Now the cool thing is, of course, this is a convolution reverb, so it will have been taken from a convolution or a sample of the real deal. So actually, it should sound pretty close to the real thing.
Oh, okay, and that's what these snapshots are, I assume.
Yes.
Okay, very cool. Did not know that. The first usable digital reverb unit released in the mid-1970s. Either way, found these, didn't know they existed. Absolutely fantastic.
We like that.
All right, so here's the drums.
And you've got a 224 up, because we had one of those in real life.
Yeah, and I can tell you now, they don't sound the same. They're very close. I took the sort of settings, but the chorus on his hardware one...
It's awesome.
Absolutely kicks ass over this. So yeah, let's listen to some drums. Oh, and I'm also I'm feeding a little bit of everything into the Capital Chambers, which I bought the other day, and I think are superb.
Which chamber are you using?
Number 6.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love this. Have you noticed this? Like if you do, where is it? If you move this.
Yeah, the
door opens
as if you're...
yeah.
Yeah,
as if like an assistant's gone in there and it shuts.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love that. Sorry, geeking out. So there we go. That sounds cool, doesn't it? So
in context, that's going to sound huge.
Yeah. On the all drums, I'm using the Fairchild, and these things are great. I went on a splurge because UAD had the offer on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, jump on that. So that's cool. That's got a vibe.
The scary thing at the moment about plugins is, and we were talking about this off camera, is that there's definitely a race to the bottom when it comes to the price of plugins. So if you're someone who is emotionally attached, should we say, to a plugin brand, then you are going to get some amazing deals. If you're brand agnostic, so you use a bit of Waves, a bit of UA, because obviously you can now use Universal Audio plugins without the hardware acceleration, thanks to UA Connect.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I'm sure it's called Connect. That thing. Is it called Connect? Am I right?
Yep.
I am. Wow, blimey. Obviously, we both love Brainworks plugins and Plugin Alliance and all that sort of stuff. There are some amazing deals. So I would never normally say now's a good time to buy into things, but the fact that you get Waves plugins now for about 30 quid is incredible. And some of my favourite plugins are going for a song, as it were.
Oh, really? Wow. I haven't been on the Waves site for a while. The updating cost always annoyed me.
The WUP, yes.
Right, so bass. So again, he used the dark glass. We had an amp and we had the DI. So what am I doing here? Let's have a look, see. Again, I'm summing these to one channel here where the majority of it's happening. So most of this is going to be control. So if I just mute these, bypass them. Round sounding.
Big noise. And what I think is amazing there is that was in the
cupboard.
In the cupboard, but you can still hear the other stuff in the background.
Absolutely nuts. So this all here is just controlling this. Yeah. Then we've got the DI. Doesn't really sound like they're doing much.
No.
Turn that off. Yeah, it does tighten up. So, but then where it's really coming in is where we come into here. So if we mute these. So it's just so much low end on the on that. I think it uses, I don't know if it's a 5-string or it tunes to C or something, but
they definitely tune down.
Yeah, it was just so gnarly. And then here, it's mids that I'm pushing. Pull a bit out here. Because when, again, treating the bass and the, on its own here, I always feel with nuns, the bass and the guitars are almost like one instrument and they cover the full frequency spectrum.
Yeah.
So that's something to take into consideration. And then I think, and we're going into this compressor, which I believe might be absolutely cranking, I don't know.
Just to even up the pick attack, I think.
It's just bring out that sort of stuff. And I do have a chorus. So the chorus was on, and I was using the Lexicon chorus. And I quite like adding chorus to bass, just give it a little bit more width. I like it. It gives it a little bit more width and a little bit more fun, really.
The fun factor.
Yeah, so that's what we've got going on as the bass. Not a lot. And then guitars. So we've got Troy, Dan and Scott. Dan and Scott are basically playing the majority of the, throughout the whole song. And then Troy dips in and out. What I've done is I've programmed the automation for the panning. So when Troy comes in, Dan then his guitar goes up the middle, Troy's on the left. So I could have just split it out. When I did the console mix, I did split everything out because he didn't have the automation quite running then. So if we listen to the guitars, should we do them as a whole?
Yeah, I think so.
They're gnarly. So.
You've applied pretty much the same processing to all of them, haven't you?
So some mids, not pushing anything on the low mids. On Dan, didn't do anything on Dan. Might have done something here. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I think I've done the same on most of them there, like that. And then Scott, again, just pushing up here on the mids and getting a bit of a bump of everything. Scott was the only one that didn't have an amp, wasn't it?
Scott, so he was running the AXFX 2,
that's
but
right.
he did have a cab.
Oh, he did have a cab.
It was mic'd up. So
Okay.
you'll hear, even though he was running AXFX, he was running an AXFX for his tone, but he still had a power amp running into an orange cab.
Gotcha. Okay, well, here we go. again, all of that was doing was tightening. And you've got to treat these, again, like one guitar, even though they're playing slightly different things, the fuzz and things like that. And then,
It's such a broadband sound, but there's not much super low end, if any, and there's not much super high end. It's very, it's where the guitar is in the mix.
100%.
And to get the bottom end in the guitar part, you're actually adding the bass, which then fills in the gaps, I think.
So if I play it with the bass guitar, how they kind of all really gelled together. So that was basically it on the instruments. I do think there is a lead part that I
couple of real new.
Yeah, I cut these out, and again, I didn't do a lot on these because.
Was also the guitarist is the guitarist by definition is setting their own tone.
Oh, 100%,
they as ones that also play guitar, you don't want to mess too much with the guitarist's tone. You might want to get rid of some of the super lows and super highs, but it is the guitarist's sound after all.
I tell you something I know. I'll just play this so you can. I don't know why the EQ's there. It's not really doing much, but I'm going through this Galaxy thing. Another thing I downloaded the other day.
Love it.
And I used these again because we were using these at Kev's place at 10 tons. Could have used anything really, but I thought, hey, why not? Give it a go. It's kind of cool.
What was it running through? The Prime Time?
Prime Time, yeah.
And I don't think they're tape based, but they're.
Oh no, maybe I'm just thinking because he does have some tape ones.
Yeah,
there,
but I mean, it's that retro kind of old school delay sort of sound.
And I tell you something I did run into when I was mixing this one is, and I did have a few more plugins or whatnot. Is it was starting to sound a bit too tight and studio-y and polished, and it is meant to be live, and I think I want to get the best sound out of it, but then equally it's meant to be a live performance. And then I was going back to a thing called I think it's Live at the Basement, and Idols played there, the Chili's played there, Queens of the Stone Age played there, Radiohead, and you listen to that and you think it's the same setup, it's the same everything, and it's like, that sounds great.
It's raw.
It's raw, so it's like I didn't want to go too much on it, because you can with plugins and whatnot. You can do whatever you want,
And I mean, I've opened sessions from other engineers. I'm not going to name names, and nor am I going to say super experienced engineers either. But the first thing when I get a mix from another engineer, the first thing I usually do is take all the plugins off, because they just machine gun them on, thinking you need them. And it's almost like, and if this is the takeaway from this video, I know the phrase "less is more" is completely overused, but if you want to keep the life in a mix, use less processing.
I think so, yeah. And you want it to be a bit, it's not the record.
No.
This is the guys playing live. They did an amazing job, and I think if you just sterilise it, people then won't feel that it's it could be off the record, and that's not the idea of this.
And the other thing, of course, the thing that hides and covers a multitude of mixing sins is as soon as you put the video alongside it.
Yeah.
Because the thing you're looking at is the thing you then hear.
Yeah, that's
and I know that sounds bizarre. Live concert recordings are so much easier to mix when you're mixing to the video.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. It would have been nice if I had the video. I could have mixed to that.
Sorry about that, yeah.
Maybe I'll get the audio over to you sooner
One
next
day.
time. And then Troy's vocal is pretty much the same process that I do for a lot of things. The only difference is I'm using the Sheps Omni channel to add a bit of saturation, because they were redone. It just sort of warmed them up a bit. And then again, I'm going through the 9000 series, or I think it's at the 9000. Yeah,
That's nice that you was in 4s for everything else, but 9s for the vocal.
yeah. I've just been really enjoying since having the hardware. This, from SSL, it's like I've been using these on vocals, and I think they sound great. So why not? Then I'm going into the 1176. That's not doing a great deal. Then going into the 2-way, that was to add like a little bit more colour, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. And then we're going into a DSR.
Goddamn, my plans fell apart in my hands. I'm losing sisters and brothers. This ain't your truth, it's just a lost sense of youth. You could have used a new lover. It is to exist between my presets and something I'm giving up, left to surrender. Goddamn, my plans fell apart in my hands. Goddamn, my plans fell apart in my...
Adding saturation there, just to, give it a little bit of colour. It really is just, it is just that colour thing, because it was very, I think Scott or Hugo recorded it, and it's very clean, And then here we're pushing some mids, getting some low mids.
Goddamn, my plans fell apart in my hand. Goddamn, my plans fell apart in my hands. I'm losing sisters and brothers.
So just quickly, some people might think, oh man, you're using a lot of compression on this. Now, the reason I'm doing it this way is because when I record vocals in the studio, I will slightly compress them before we get into the box. These weren't compressed at all, so the dynamics are all over the place. So I'm not really doing a lot here, but I'm just trying to have it at a good point to where I'll then go into the 1176.
Goddamn, my plans fell apart in my hands. I'm losing sisters and brothers. This ain't your...
Something else to note, normally I use the silver face on vocals, but because these vocals are already so bright and spitty and whatnot, which is cool, I'm using the sort of the generic black one, and also I'm using a slower release because I don't want it to, I'll show you.
Goddamn, my plans fell apart in my hands. I'm losing sisters and brothers.
And then exactly what you said.
Goddamn, my plans fell apart in my...
It just holds them back a little bit. So that's why I'm there. I'm not going to lie, I've just bought it, so it's going on everything.
I love a LA2A on vocals.
Yeah, someone does one into the other, but who cares? I'll play it.
Goddamn, my plans fell apart in my hands. I'm losing sisters and brothers. This ain't your truth, it's just a lost sense of youth. You could have used a new lover.
Very rarely in audio should we talk about girth, but that's what that's doing.
It does, doesn't
it's
it?
Just
it's like
making it bigger.
Goddamn, my plans fell apart in my hands. I'm losing sisters and brothers.
It's that sort of tone comes out of the voice a bit more, a bit more 3D. Girth, yeah. And then just going into a DSR, a plug-in lines one there. I'm not going to lie, I was pretty lazy with the effects, and I'll tell you why, because I was listening with Live at the Basement thing. What I'd noticed is the effects that a lot of these people would have on the records are not there live, because it's a live, all the throw delay. So I thought, do you know what might you have live or whatnot? So I'm just using this CLA Epic thing.
Yep.
This is awesome, this plugin. And then it's got, what have I got on it? Slap, the crowd. This is going to be that Ursa Major thing.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then the plate, just a little plate there, and it's just whatever was up. And then
what's interesting actually is a couple of years ago I did an interview with Steve Lipsome, and while it never went out for many and various reasons, one of the things he did say was he primarily for his reverb uses deverb.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares what the reverb is. The reverb is there to put the thing in a sonic space.
I think you go to certain things like a reverb or a delay because you know it does a certain thing. And I think it's all down to speed. So for argument's sake, I was using one of those delays at 10 ton and I was looking at all of them and I had no idea what some of them, how to work them. So I ended up going with the one that I knew. That is literally the only... And
click, 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 click. There's a preset I like, go.
Kev came in, he's like, oh, you know, you should use this and use that. But the problem is Kev weren't there at that time and I just wanted to get going. So you just go to it because you know it's going to do a thing.
Yep.
I did put the vocals through these left and right, mono. So I did 2 monos.
Yep.
And then just slightly changed them just to give a little thing, little something. And then, yeah, altogether the vocal is...
Goddamn, my plans fell apart in my hands. I'm losing sisters and brothers.
Sounds cool.
I think it's fairly safe to say as well, the 2 boys doing BVs weren't doing a great deal and they're not added a great deal to the mix.
No, they're in there, like, but, you know, they're there for vibe. They're picking up on certain things. So really for those guys, they're... I'm just doing a bit of EQ and a bit of...
And they're live in the room, so they've got everything in them.
They've got so much on them.
Yeah.
They did great. And when I first met them, I don't think they were even doing BVs. But, you know, so they're cool. And you can hear them, actually. It's better to hear it in context.
Man, I can keep it loose. Take aim at flame, ready, fire and flame. Signature signed and delivered. There ain't no fear in the...
It's subtle, but it's there.
subtle. They're there and they're cool, you know.
So master bus type stuff, because
I went stupid. No, I didn't go stupid. Another thing I downloaded from the UAD website, and this is great. I had a little play of it. I pulled up the rock setting, and then I decided, you know, messing about and working it out. I've used the real one of these before, but not enough to where you really understand it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I've been playing with this. This is really cool. For years and years and years, I normally use the Amex one. It's the 250.
AMEC. Yes,
that's it.
AMEC. Yeah.
AMEC, which is still great, you know. So, but I'm just playing with this because, you know, it was like in sound on sound every week. Everyone wanted one.
I say my go-to mix bus EQ is the Millennia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just because again, I've used the real thing.
Yeah.
And I know what it's going to do.
Do you know, it just doesn't look cool enough for me. This looks cool.
Hey,
I wish I could get them bigger.
I wish there wasn't truth to that. I wish there wasn't, but there so is.
Then I go into
Yummy.
this, and I've been using this on the mix bus for yonks, so really simple.
And I've used the hardware version of this as well.
Yeah, I have too, yeah.
I'd love the hardware version, but budgets don't allow.
No. Then I'm going into the Studer. Give it a little bit of colour. Just use the classic rock, you know, and then little played about with these thingies. And then over here, just using this to add a bit of level. And again, I found these plugins. I didn't even realise I had them. And this is doing a little bit of extra compression with like a soft clip. So I was reading up about this in the manual, believe it or not. But this is... was it? It's not parallel or whatnot. I suppose it is because the mix is only 50%.
Yeah.
But this is really cool. And what I love here, so I went into the presets just to see what this thing did. Thinking, they might have rock or something. Burnt order, chicken wings. What's that? Hernus alert?
Yeah. Medium rare.
Medium rare, muffin mat, slamming burger. And I kind of think whoever did that is brilliant because it really doesn't matter, you know, what they say. But I went with a medium rare and had a little play about.
How do you like your mix? Medium rare, please.
Yeah, medium rare. I think it's brilliant. I've got a limiter going on, the L2. And then there's just a metering thing. And then this, which is my favourite thing in the whole wide world, which is the audio movers, which obviously isn't doing anything to the mix, but I reference absolutely everything on my earbuds, and I can go for a walk outside and have a listen, which is fantastic. So that's that.
Interesting. I'd never thought of using it that way.
Yeah.
I've always used listen to as a means to get a mix to somebody else somewhere in the far-flung corners of the world.
Do you know, I do that, but then I realised it's just brilliant because then I don't have to upload it.
Yeah, totally.
I wish it was, our internet's quite slow, so when I'm listening, I run in, I'm like, quickly change something. Got to wait 2 seconds.
Brilliant. Great idea.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I've messed up some levels here now, but I think it was the bass I turned up. But yeah, that is the in the box mix, which was great fun to do. It's really interesting doing the album version, obviously, and that was hybrid, like in the box and out the box, like you saw before. The fully analog one, and now this in the box one. It is quite difficult to keep the excitement of doing a mix when you've done it over. You're doing it over and over.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a great way to, I think, sort of learn and like hone those skills a little bit more and be a bit more critical on yourself. And that's definitely, every time I listen back now, I'm like, oh God, I wish I'd done that.
And how many times, I mean, we've used the phrase between the 3-4 of us, a mix isn't finished, it's merely abandoned.
Yeah.
Because you can, again, to quote a million different engineers, I think this is an Andrew Sheps one, it's the point of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
At which point do you say, I am having next to no effect audibly on this?
Yeah.
Again, quoting great engineers, the Al Schmidt comment, no one buys a record because of the sound of a snare drum.
No, you might not even buy a record because of the sound of a snare drum. God.
There are two elements that are important.
Yeah.
The vocal makes you cry, the kick drum makes you dance.
Oh, there you go.
Anything past that is gravy.
Yeah. No, I get that. But also, I'll tell you something I've noticed, because we was A-Bing them between the console mix and this mix. You can get it so close, like to sounding relatively the same, if that makes sense, like using the same kind of hardware and then the plugins and what have you. But it's interesting. You're doing a one knob mix next.
The one knob mix with one knob plugins. I think I might have to exaggerate a little bit on that, because I don't think there are actually enough one knob plugins to do an entire mix. But I'm working on it. So that one will be coming next week or sometime soon. So keep an eye on it. But let's play the track back with the video, and we'll cut in bits of the mix and stuff so you can see what's going on.
Exist to exist between my
there you go. The full mix, the in-the-box mix of Losing Control. Let's go with 2 benefits of the in-the-box mix.
2 benefits, obviously, recall has to be there. It's a bit boring, but recall and efficiency and speed for me.
So not waiting for our very own version of Captain Slow to plug stuff in and stuff.
Yeah, not waiting for that. Obviously, when you know, there's a whole process with those boards. You know, you turn the board on. You know, the computer's got to be on. There's always something that's slightly off. You have to go through, check it out, let the equipment warm up. You know, to get the board going is 20 minutes. You know, because obviously you have to do things and then get the computer. Where obviously with this, it's just open and away you go.
And of course, it could be your laptop. It doesn't have to be.
Could be your laptop. 100%. Yeah.
That's the scary thing. All right, so 2 drawbacks of the in-the-box mix.
Too many options, like I said. Like I found myself going down the road of making it sound way too clinical. And then another drawback. I think it's like how deep you can keep diving. That really is it, because we can, you know, time in. I mean, we could have timed on any of it, but like the plugins, replacing things. I'll tell you the other thing, it's infinite options. So, you know, you think to yourself, like even now I'm like, oh, was that snare drum a bit too loud? I can just pull it up and we can knock it back down, where obviously when you're having to travel to a studio that's got a board, like you really have to commit to those things. And then Joe Barresi said this once, he said, you just got to learn to love the mix. And I think that's true when you're on analog, but then when you're in the box, you can just keep going. So,
right, so 2 pros of the full analog.
Super duper fun.
Yeah.
Like that's like, I love it so much more. And I think for me, you engage a different part of your brain for mixing. Like you are being more technical. You do have to understand signal flow. You do have to understand gain staging. So it's a totally different experience. It's like me driving my electric car and then, you know, jumping into an old school, you know, Mini or something where you've got to, you know, pull the clutch out, the choke out and what have you. Yeah.
And the drawbacks, unfortunately, are infinite, aren't they? Of the old school.
Well, yeah, I mean,
taking cost out of the equation.
The thing is if people obviously still mix on consoles all the time, and if that's it, so you know your studio, you can do all that. But like the cost of it is one big thing. It never will sound the same every day. I think that's the big thing. And I had that when I did mix on consoles quite a lot. People would go, oh, it doesn't sound like, I haven't really changed it. Like, but people are so used to...
Even these...
Oh, they sound different.
The modern consoles.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Kev's SSL must be late 80s.
Yeah, sort of late 80s or whatnot.
These you can still buy. This is an ASP 8024, the HE version of the Audient console. I think even every day still, these sound different.
Yeah,
it could be the merest nudge on something that changes.
There's always something. So, and I think because we're now in this world where people are used to things being, you know, obviously instant, the same, da-da-da-da, we all know how the box works. That's the issue. So it's like, are you kind of setting yourself up for failure sometimes by wanting to mix on the console because it's fun, you can still get a great result, knowing that then you have to then potentially teach the client that when you mix on a board, these are the things that happen. So, and then the flip of that is why does the client need to be taught anything? They just want you to send them a mix, and then when they want the vocal up, it's just the vocal up. Yeah. You know, we don't need to have that conversation. So I think there's a time and a place for everything. Yeah.
It's interesting because I think the takeaways for me are exactly the same. There is a certain element of fun about mixing on a board, be it an SSL, be it one of these. There is a certain amount of fun. There is a certain thing that you get from actually reaching out to a piece of analog hardware or even a digital piece of hardware like a digital reverb or whatever, and turning a knob until you go, oh yeah, that's the one, that's it, that's the spot. And then tomorrow, but the thing is, then tomorrow you'll come back and go, that wasn't quite the spot.
Well, this is it.
Because you've got 20 minutes. You've got about 20 minutes of conscious listening time in you.
Oh, okay.
After 20 minutes, it all starts to become...
Oh, okay.
So I think you need to take more breaks when you work this way.
I think so, yeah. I think having a great environment in the studio and whatnot is way more... You know, I mix hybrid most of the time. So I go through the equipment and I commit and then I move on. But I think that's where the fun bit is because if you go hybrid and you're committing as you go along, then that's one thing. But if you're having to recall stuff all the time, it can become an issue. Yeah.
I think in a pro environment, and I'm going to call this a professional environment because there are very few bedroom studios that have this sort of stuff.
Oh, sure, yeah.
There are some.
Awesome bedrooms.
There's some pretty amazing bedrooms out there. But I think, and certainly the way you and I work, is that if we can commit a sound, a tone, an effect, and bake it in, we will do, because that takes one more option out of the equation later on. If you've got the right guitar delay repeat for the track, bake it in, commit it, because if it's working now, it'll be working later.
Yeah.
I do obviously understand, you might think, oh, that's quite a lot of reverb, I wish I could take it off. Once it's baked in, you're committed. That's the whole point of commitment. And there is something nice about having, we can change the room sound, we can do this, we can add the capital chambers, we can change the space we were recording in.
Yeah.
But does anybody on that end of things actually care?
I don't know if it's whether they care, and I don't think they need to care. I think you're trying to create something that when they put it on their headphones and they're listening, it makes them feel a certain way. So we know that maybe the capital chambers on a really nice guitar or vocal, and that can transport somebody to a point in time, and that's why it matters to us. It doesn't need to matter to them. In my opinion, I don't really want the listener to think. I just want them to listen to the music and have an experience.
Yeah, audio engineers do the thinking bit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how many times have you sat and listened to a track and go, oh, I know how they did that?
Funny enough, I was listening to, who was it today? Was it AFI or something? And they've got this awesome bit where the guitar comes in. It's like, bam, and they go, bah, 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 bah. I was like, oh, that's so cool. They've side-chained the guitar. They've split the guitar, side-chained it to, what's it called, a vibrato or a tremolo.
Yeah.
And then you got, parallel, like, I was like, oh, that's cool. We get to have those experiences.
Yeah, nobody cares. Thank you, sir.
Oh, dude, anytime.
2 of the 3 Audio Amigos this time. Let us know what you think about your take on in-the-box mixing, on analog mixing, on hybrid mixing. The next video is going to be one knob plugins. Theoretically, the most... I think I need to work out the rules for that particular video.
Because I thought you was going to do it like... like the Waves literal one knob one.
Yeah, I think I want to do mostly will be one knob plugins. I mean, I know there's some Andrew Sheps ones. There's plenty of Waves ones. There's the Manny American ones. There's the Greg Wells one knob ones, but they're just the Waves ones that I can think off the top of my head. I'm wondering if I can shoehorn CLA drums into there and just use the presets, because I think that's probably allowed.
Yeah, why not?
The presets mix. But I mean, theoretically, it should be the easiest and the quickest of all.
Well, I suppose the idea is that you're not affecting... So if you use the CLA one, you go to snare drum. There's it's that, and then you go to kick drum, then and then you level. Obviously, you're going to be leveling, I assume. But there you go.
Interesting.
God, if that wins, that'd be freaking awesome. Break the internet.
So thank you out there for joining us for this one. Part 3 coming very shortly. Please do hit like, subscribe, leave comments down there, ring the bell, all that sort of normal stuff. But for now, my name's James Jivey.
I'm James Curtis Thomas.
From 3 Audio Amigos, 2 Audio Amigos, Jivey Talks Tech, who knows? And we'll see you again very soon.